Welcome to your postpartum workout. Today we are doing Tabatas. Our entire workout is going to be a big Tabata. We're going to do 30 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. We'll do 30 seconds between our groups of exercises. For the warm-up, we're going to stay with Tabata style, going through 3 rounds of 4 exercises. Our main lifts today are going to be right in the middle. They're going to be more strength focused, and we're going to end up doing 2 rounds of those, and then we're going to finish with some accessories, some cardio, and some core as well. For today's workout, I'm actually going to use my 15-pound kettlebell just to kind of mix it up, because a lot of the things that we're doing are going to be single arm, and 10 pounds for me is a little bit lighter, so I'm going to try to challenge myself with the 15. But if you don't have a 10 or a 15 or even a 12, you can always double up the weights that you do have. So if you have 2 3s, you can turn that into a 6-pound dumbbell by holding it in your hand. So definitely try to go a little bit heavier today and challenge yourself, especially on the 2nd or 3rd round of these exercises. As such, because it's a Tabata, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate too many exercises in advance, so it's going to be more of a follow along. So just make sure you're paying attention. I'll give you lots of time to have those water breaks in between our big sets of exercises, and then we'll finish with a nice little cool down at the end, which will also be a Tabata. So let's get started. 10 seconds. We're going to start at a tabletop position on our mat. So palms under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're just going to start with shoulder circles. So arms are straight. We're going to roll the shoulders back and down and up and forward, making nice big circles. Trying to keep the arms straight and the inside balls of the elbows pointing forward. Let's switch and try to go the other way. One side always feels harder or more awkward than the other, so don't worry about that. That's normal. 2, 1. We're going to stay in this tabletop position, but we're going to bring our knees back. So we're in a modified plank position here. And then keeping our core engaged, we're going to extend our right leg back, tap our toe, and then bring it back in, and then we're going to switch. So legs extending back, tap the toe in that modified plank. Next round, we're going to take it up a notch and make it a little bit more challenging. So see how you're feeling here. We should be able to keep our hips and our shoulders aligned. So watch that we're not dropping the hips down. Hi, Feather. You're funny. Extending back, squeeze those glutes for 3, 2, 1. Let's come up to standing. We're going to go into a nice wide stance with our legs. Moving into a lateral lunge. So toes are forward. I'm going to lunge deep into my leg. Feel that stretch in my inner thigh. Push up and then switch. Nice work. Good job. So see how you're feeling here. See how, if you're feeling open through the hips. Notice that if you're feeling tight or in the groin, because this might be where you stay today. But if you're feeling like you want a little extra challenge, we can definitely make this exercise harder on our next set. 2, 1. Good. So let's come up. We're going to stand either on our mat. I'm going to stand behind my mat just because I have better traction. We're going to do some lateral shuffle with a tap. So I'm going to shuffle and then tap down. Shuffle, tap down. So modification would be we get rid of that tap and we just shuffle side to side. But since we did those lateral lunges, we should be feeling fairly open. Don't be afraid to let that torso twist a little bit. As we come down, you can open up to the sides of the mat. 3, 2, 1. Okay, back into that tabletop position. Moving through our next set, making the exercises a little bit harder. So now, you can stay tabletop and do some scapula push-ups. So pinching our shoulder blades together and then pushing away. Pinch and push. Arms stay straight again, but if you want something harder, you can go into a full plank, providing that you don't drop your hips. So either way, full modified plank or tabletop, working around those shoulder blades, really getting lots of movement. And rest, coming back up. So lateral lunges, or if you are feeling open, again, feeling nice and strong today. We can even turn it into a Cossack, where when we come down, that opposite toe comes up. So heels will always stay down. This takes some balance, so go slow. Good. Nice work, mamas. And again, sinking nice and low, feeling this out. And note, because if this feels good, our next set, we might be able to add weight. Let's rest. So coming back, we're gonna go back into that side shuffle with instep tap. 3, 2, 1. Coming down, nice and quick. Sinking into those legs, bend the knees, back is flat. Good work. Two, 1. Okay, coming back down. Tabletop position. Ooh, I think I forgot one last time. Okay, let's go with our cat-cow. So rounding, looking up, dropping the belly, and then as we exhale, curling our chin under, tucking in, and moving nice and slow with your breath here. Awesome. 2, 1. Okay, going into a plank variation. I forgot this last time, so we're gonna add one at the end. Now what I want you to do is extend the leg back. We're gonna bring it out to the side, back, and then in. So reach back, out to the side, back, and in, and then switch legs. Back, down, and in. And if this is easy for you, again, make the distance between your knees and your hands a little wider, a little bit further apart. We're gonna keep going with this one because we didn't do it the last time. And what you can do now is try to keep your foot up. So don't let it touch down, okay? So extend back, keeping the leg up the whole time. And then if that's easy, you can even go into a full plank and do it, which is a lot harder. So again, engage with where you're at. Couple more reps, alternating each time. 3, 2, 1. All right, coming up, lateral lunge, Cossack squats. I'm gonna add my weight now. I'm actually gonna hold it down here, I think, and coming up. We're gonna do a lot of goblet variations today, so I'm gonna hold off on holding this kettlebell in a goblet, but you are more than welcome to. That's gonna help get the core a little bit warmer. Nice work. Good. 2, 1, and let's get set up. Lateral shuffle again, working across the length of our mat. 3, 2, 1. Last exercise here, and then we get a 30-second break. Awesome. Keep moving. 2, 1. Rest. Okay, so 30 seconds. Quick sip of water. When you're ready, we're going to set up onto our mats in a seated position. And we're going to do a shoulder press from a seated position, which we call a Z press. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to start with my dominant side just while I get used to this movement. So I'd recommend that. You can bend your knee, So arm that's holding the weight, bend that knee, lean back a little bit, and then press up. So pushing up and down. Good. And we're going to switch and do the other arm on our next set. So count your reps and make sure you're moving at a consistent, steady pace. So notice your tempo. And the reason we're doing this variation is because we're going to progress into things like Turkish get-ups and rest. So this is a great variation to practice. So let's switch arms. So I'm going to bend my other knee. You can also leave the legs straight though, bringing my hand back, and I'm pressing up and down. Good work. Nice. And again, keep that tempo, that steady pace that you had before. Let's work with it. Three, two, one. Let's stand up. We're going to move into alternating reverse lunges. So let's do it without weight just to see how your balance is. Hands on the hips. Coming back, tapping that knee down. We're always going to have a slight forward lean here. Just as we go through it, right foot steps back to 5 o'clock, left foot steps back to 7. Notice how your balance is today. You can go a little wider with that step back if needed. Keep alternating. Let's make sure we end off on the opposite leg that we started. So that was that for me. Now we're going to do forward alternating lunges, okay? So I want you to think about the same thing. Same slight forward lean. This time we're going forward and pushing back, okay? So come forward and then push back. So now with the forward lunges, right foot's going to 1 o'clock, left foot stepping to 11. Our body position shouldn't change front forward lunge to reverse lunge, but often it does. We try to swing our body, use momentum, rest, and we want to avoid that. Okay, grabbing your weight. We're going to get into a bent over row from a lunge position. So stepping into a lunge stance, you can rest that arm inside on your thigh or on your waist, and we row. And as we do this, think about like a cobra position in yoga where we kind of pinch those shoulder blades together, chest is open. That's going to help us engage our muscles that run along our spine, all those posture muscles. Definitely be active through the legs, push back through those toes. 3, 2, 1, switch. So switching arms, I'm switching my stance, and again, hand can be wherever you need it, just don't press on your knee joint itself. Good. Gentle cobra spine. If your weights are light, you can even do a wide row. Maybe we'll do that on the next one if you've got lighter weights, but I don't know about you, my shoulders are still a little tired from last workout, so I think the row is good enough, working the back and the biceps. 2, 1. Okay, let's head back down to our mats. Now that we're familiar, start with your opposite arm. For that press, we're gonna add something though. Watch, we're gonna do a glute bridge, and then press, and then come back down. So use that foot, press up, and then come back down. Modification, you can stay down. That's totally fine as well. But if you want to try something a little harder, go up into a glute bridge using that leg, and then press that weight up. Good. Yep. 2, 1. All right, switching. Getting set up. Same idea, whatever you did on one side, let's do on this side. So I'm going to do glute bridge and press. So this is part of our Turkish get-up prep, which, like I said, we're working towards making sure you feel comfortable with these movements. Or like I said, on the spot. Last one. Good. So let's come up to standing. I'm going to use my weight for my reverse lunges just because we've only got one more set. So know which leg you start with. Always end on the opposite leg. Good work. Yes. And if you're wobbly, again, widen that stance to step back. Take your time. There's no rush. If you're stable though, keep going. Good, rest. So now we're gonna do the forward lunges. Harder with weight, so it's up to you if you wanna use it or not, but I always say try. Coming forward and then stepping back. Yes, good with that nice slight forward lean. Trying to get that full range of motion to try to tap the knee down. Heel always stays planted in that front leg. And breathe. 2, 1. Awesome, bent over rows. So I'm switching my starting arm again. Always like to mix it up. Bent over position. Controlled row. Gentle cobra spine. Elbows tight, shoulders dropped away from the ear. Neck neutral. Exhale to come up. Inhale on the way down. Two, one, rest, switch. So I'm getting set up on my other side. Last time here. 2, 1, and row. So this is our last side. We get a 30-second break after this. Nice work, ladies. Draw a nice straight line from your heel to the top of your head. Great job. 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, so switching gears, we're gonna get into some conditioning, lower core. This next exercise, you can use your dumbbell. It's gonna be a dumbbell swing. I'm gonna use a kettlebell. So dumbbell swing looks like this. So it's a hinge. You hold on to the outside of your dumbbell, grip it. I've got my kettlebell, so I'll use that. And you can even use 2 dumbbells if you want. You just have to go wider. 3, 2, 1. So hinge and squeeze those glutes, pop the weight up. So I'm not squatting here. Whether you've got a kettlebell or a dumbbell, that weight should almost be hitting you in the butt when you come down and back. Don't fight it, let it fall, and pop it back up. Pop, pop. Just like everything, keep those shoulders back. For 2, 1, rest. Okay, we're going to do 1 1/4 squats or cyclists. So you can hold the weight up here, down here, your choice. I'm gonna hold it up. We're gonna squat down, come up 1/4, back down and up. And it's gonna be hard here because we just got that heart rate up, right? In those swings. So this is your chance to reconnect with your breath and really focus. Feel that burn. 2, 1, rest. We're gonna set the weight down. We're gonna move into groiners or lizard push-ups. So plank push-up position. Foot comes to the outside. We can either twist or we can do a little mini push-up here. Then we step back, we switch, we can twist, or we can do a mini push-up. You can also drop the back knee if you like. My chest isn't coming all the way down to the ground. This is actually more of a hip flexor and hip opener than anything else. But if you're working on full push-ups, it's a great option for those as well. Rest. Okay, sitting on our butts. We're going to bring our knees up and into our chest. Heels can be down. We're going to extend our arms. We're going to move into a modified Russian twist. So being able to keep that back flat is the key here. We're avoiding dropping down. So even though my arms are coming off to the side, my shoulders stay square in front of me. And again, we've got 2 more rounds of all this. So now we can increase the intensity a little bit as we keep going. Ready? Rest. Come on up. Back to the swings. So grabbing that weight. 2, 1. Hinge. And pop the weight up. Good. Yes. So that weight should stay nice and close, should pass between your knees, not any lower, and watch that you're not rounding again. So if you're coming forward, your head's dropping down towards the floor, you're probably going a little too low. Keep the chest lifted, and let's rest. 1 1/4 squats, adding weight, maybe adding more weight this time if the last set was easy. Let's go. Nice and controlled. Spread your mat, your floor apart. Let's breathe through this one. Feel that burn. Last one. Okay, lizard push-ups. Coming back down. And as always, remember which side you start with. We always want to finish on the opposite side. Equal reps, both legs. Bring that foot up as high as you can. One more each. Last one. All right, coming down again to our butts. This time, if we can, let's see if we can hover the feet off the ground. As we do this, twist, reaching our arms side to side, but keeping our shoulders forward. Lots of hip flexors here. Lots of core. If it's too much, you can bring them down, but I'd like you to try. Good. 3, 2, 1. Okay, last round. Good. It's the same thing with the swings. Ready, go. Let's try to keep this pace. Go right to the end. It's all in the glutes. So if you're feeling this in your low back, you need to squeeze your glutes more. This is one to really work on your breathing with as well. 2, 1, rest. Okay, 1 1/4 squats. Let's do it. Let's get that burn. Maybe we do 2 pulses at the bottom this time. Oh yes, there we go. Amazing. Yes, knees out. Feel those glutes, the quads, hammies here. Woo! Love it. Awesome. 1 more. And lizard push-ups. Set up. 1, rest. Okay, back to our butts. Now let's see if we can extend the legs out a little bit straighter as we do this. Good. Chest is up. Nice hold, really squeezing between our legs too. So my legs are very actively being pressed together here, which is going to in turn help engage my pelvic floor. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and time. 30 seconds, grab a drink, and we're gonna do a cool down. So for our cool down, I'm gonna move into a couch stretch. So I'm gonna fold up my mat and bring it against the wall. You can use a couch chair, or you can do this on the spot as well. You don't need to use the wall. I'm gonna place my knee in the middle of my mat. Heel is behind my glutes. I'm gonna bring that leg forward. And I'm gonna make sure I'm in a straight line from my shoulder to my knee here. You can use a chair for support. This back knee is bent, which is gonna add a deeper stretch to the quad and the hip flexor. And then my goal here is to squeeze my glutes and try to bring my hip towards my heel. So I'm not bent at the waist at all. I'm really open here. And where your knee is gonna affect that. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm bent, move your knee forward a little bit. And let's gently bring those hands down. And from here, we're just going to do a nice little twist and hold. Reaching up, extending. You can even bend that arm if you like. Some people like to reach back for their foot. Whatever works for you. Just nice opener, feel the twist. Enjoy the stretch. And then we're going to switch legs. 3, 2, 1. Let's switch our knees. So my other knee is going to go right where that last one was. I'm going to bring my foot up, walking my hands up to make sure that my heel's behind my hip, that I'm in a nice straight line, and I'm going to lunge forward, bringing that hip to heel, opening up, and watching that I'm not avoiding this stretch by dropping my hip off to the side, or often people will drop their foot off to the side. We really want to make sure that that heel is right behind your glute on that side. And that's just going to really intensify the stretch, but in a good way. 2, 1. So walk our hands down. Feel the stretch here, and then we're going to reach and breathe into that twist. So big inhale, reach up, and just let gravity do the work here with that arm. Bringing it back again, you can bring your hand behind your head if that's more comfortable, or you can even grab for that foot if it's available to you. Reaching back, nice and open, even up and overhead. That's going to be a little bit of obliques, which is great as well. 2, 1, let's come up. We're going to take our shoes off. We're going to roll out our feet to finish. So I'm going to grab that broomstick that I have handy. I'm going to set it on the ground. And I'm going to pretend that my feet are a ball of pizza dough. And this roller needs to roll out that ball. And so I'm going to start at my toes, work through the arch, and then work towards the heel. This is a really great one. We're going to spend a little bit of extra time on it just because I love it so much. It's so good for you. So keep rolling, and I like to even think about rolling the inside arch. Feel what that feels like, the middle of the foot, and then the outside arch and edge. And you might find that one side feels a little bit ropier than the other. So note that. When we get to our heel, we want to press on it. So I don't roll my heel much, I more so stand on it, and I kind of rock side to side to get my Achilles insertion point, which can be tender, especially if you're a runner. So rolling it out. And last time, a couple big long sweeps through the whole foot. And now stand on that and just feel what that feels like. That foot should feel a little bit flatter than your other foot. So now let's even it out. Let's start rolling our other foot. So I'm going to start right at the front. I work from the front to the middle to the back, and then I go inside, middle, outside. I just find that that works, and then by the end I'm doing nice big long sweeps of the whole foot. So working inside arch. Woo! That side's a little ropey. I've noticed since I've been running too that my feet get a lot more sore and stiff. So definitely if you're a runner, you want to run again, something to do before your runs after, really great addition. Let's now roll out the outer edge and the heel. So remember our heel, we can't really roll on it, so we're going to stand, kind of rock side to side. Get into that Achilles, and then nice big long full sweeps. Getting any last little parts that might still be a little ropey. 2, 1. Awesome. So we can set that off to the side. Now coming back down, tabletop position. We're going to reach our arm forward and we're going to drop our chest down. So it's almost like a high butt child's pose, but with that arm extended, we get that nice lat stretch. Nice big breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it go out of the mouth. Now gently coming up, let's extend the other arm. And then sinking back. Breathe into this. You can let your forehead rest on your mat or on your ear. It's up to you. Just really feeling that stretch. Breathing in through the side body, into your obliques. Big inhale in, and let it go, exhale. Okay, coming up to stand. One last thing we're going to do with our broomstick. We're going to hold it out, bring it onto our shoulder, and then we're going to grab it down below and bring our elbow into this nice little bend here. So this is a good tricep mobility exercise. I'm pulling down with this hand. And this is good too if you've got like sore wrists. This position might be hard to get into even, so you can even have that hand a little bit further up, but I'm really trying to actively bring this arm down, feeling this stretch through the tricep, keeping the elbow forward. And release. We're going to switch. So other hand comes out in front, onto the shoulder, bring it down. Let's grab underneath and then work here. Another alternative is you can have your elbows up on your chair and let your head drop in between your elbows on a chair or a couch. That works as well. But I like this one because not a lot of people do it, and most of us have broomsticks laying around, so we could stretch out our triceps and our wrists. And gently release. If you want to do a couple dislocates around the world, it is up to you, but that concludes our workout for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel like we're progressing through some of the modifications and variations, because we're just going to keep building on these. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. So we'll see you at the next workout.